And I can't commit myself to Dr. Richardson. Lord have mercy. Hello, everybody. Now you see the two of us are here. Doc is back. Yeah, she's been back for about a week or so. But when you travel to Liberia, you come back, you got to put things in order, and then we get it going, especially on the weekend. We're both mothers, we're both educators, we're both wives. So we got to put things in order. Anyway, it's good to be here, Doc. It's good to have you back. Welcome home to your other home. I know
Thank you.
your I don't know if you're switching from Sierra Leone to where you're switching to Nima County, but either way, I'm fine. That means I got more places to go
That's right.
hang out, and I don't mind. But
That's
anyway, folks, let me say welcome to Second Thought. We're back here and we're working
mm-hmm.
on a lot of stuff in the back to make sure, working with 2FM, working with Bluebird Radio to make sure we're on the air where we can get more and more people listening to us, especially our young people and our women. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Our job here is to redirect,
Mm-hmm.
inspire, speak our truth, and encourage you to be the very best version of you. That
Mm-hmm.
said, happy Sunday. I'm coming from you live from Georgia, and that
Yes. Hello, everybody. It is good to be here. As my sister Cindy said, I just got back from Liberia not long ago, so it was a matter of just getting things in order, job in order, children in order, my life in order. But I'm always good to be here to have this conversation with you, especially with Cindy, as you know, who's a powerhouse in you know talking and advocating for Liberia. So it's good to be here. I want to welcome all of you. Like she said, we're working towards um, just going deep inside, making our voice heard in Liberia, and we're working on it. We will do that very soon. This is a program for women. It's two women. You see, I was just thinking, it's just you've been on this journey for a long time, and then of course with our edition, I don't know if there's any two women who in fact I was reminded by people who were under my post that said they like that women are involved in the politics of Liberia, and they said there's only two, you and Yusini primarily, who talk about some issues in Liberia. A lot of people come on, a lot of women come on, but they are talking about other issues. But it seems like it was good to hear that, number one. So, and given the population of Liberia, there's 50% at least, 50% of women in Liberia. So it's so important for us to be a part of the conversation in how we can develop Liberia. So yeah, that's what I was thinking.
and that yeah, especially without break, consistently for the last 8 years, consistently
Yes.
because this word we have been visible. We have been visible before, but
Mhm.
because of the emergence of Facebook Live, it had given
Mhm.
us the opportunity. Remember when we started in 2017, a lot of
Yes.
people were now on Facebook. We would send Emmanuel Macedo to go from community to community on Zoom. We did
Yes.
not. We have to route this into Zoom. And what was the other one that we use? OBS for people to
Mhm.
be able to hear us and all of that. And not just thinking about the population where you and I have covered, okay,
Mhm.
the places that we've gone. Brother Joe High, the places that we've gone. Although we were born in Liberia, I was born in Liberia. I was born in Nimba, but I didn't grow up in Nimba. I spent my early years in Monrovia. I spent all of my adult years in America. The last 4 years, literally, we have spent just gallivanting, being on an adventure of Liberia in every hole, every.
Well, you remind me, and I'll never forget. And Liberian people, again, I want to just welcome all of you to this conversation. Just kind of
Mhm.
watching, you just reminded me, and some of the things that we don't share because we just don't talk about it. But remember, it was what, dark after 12 o'clock one night. We were driving from, I believe, we were coming from Nimba and
Mhm.
going to Monrovia, and there were all these big trucks that were
Yes,
asking,
some
and
of them with no light.
yes, with no,
And they
and
will
we
get
were
close
like,
to you, and then they will put Christmas light on top of it.
yes, yes, and we were like, oh my god! And I mean, your husband often says, he says, what does say he don't know what we got all our life. You know, say I don't know you
They
too, but
say you don't know if we got. They say you don't know what we got. The rest, there were light spare lives to pick up because with Allah we have spare lives. Yes, yeah,
and these are
somewhere.
things I think if our husbands were listening, they probably, would be like wondering about us because we don't tell them either. But I think my husband, usually when he follows us, when you see it, he's always like a step or so behind us
Ahead of
because
us, yes.
he tells us that we are not security minded at all
No,
because
we are
things
not.
will be
No, we are
happening.
not.
We're
You
just things will be happening, and we just like don't
But that
don't
when
pay
we are
attention.
home, we are just happy to be home, to be amongst our sisters and brothers, our children. Um, we hugs. Most majority of them, we are, for me, I'm just that in. That is the inspector. She will look around. Most of the time, she have to pull me by my clothes. But we
Yes.
we go we go when we are in Liberia, we're not thinking. But when Brother Abi with us, he a lot more because he's a soldier, he's security minded. Okay. And he
Yes.
would so just take a survey and be like, you need to do this, you need to do that. But the two of us,
Yes.
we just diving. We just
Yes.
we just diving.
So it's funny when you didn't come with me this past couple of times. I was in Liberia, and we're going to
I
dive into
miss it.
conversation. I know a lot of you dying to hear our thoughts about
Mm.
what's going on in Liberia with time. So
Yes.
you see, I have a routine
That hold
that
on, wait
we
a second.
do.
Guys, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. We have what is happening in District 7 to talk about. We have what happened this weekend, how Liberian people lash out at our one way. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna
Mhm.
start from somewhere and then we're gonna go. But we want to tell you um our work, what it takes. And we're in
Mhm.
the works for the Liberian women, and we want to be the one to lead that charge.
Mhm.
We have not just been talking, we also have been working and being visible. That go ahead.
Mhm.
Sorry, I just wanted to see because
Yeah,
people.
I was just gonna say we have a
Yes,
certain routine that we do every night when we sleep in, no matter what we sleep into certain places. And so
yes.
so if ever was with me, I was engaging
Oh,
in that
let me tell
routine.
my business.
And then I'm not telling you that it's a routine. And he's like, what are you doing that for? I'm here. I'm like, we still got, and then I got him myself
Yes,
in the routine.
we
So
do.
it's too funny. But anyway, let's get into some serious conversation. And
Yeah, we do.
be serious, but sometimes we have to laugh at ourselves.
Ourselves and our
Yes.
journey,
Yes.
especially in a place where security is non-existing.
Hmm.
Yeah, Doc. So everyone, good evening. Thank you for being here. I see some of you have been sharing. Please continue to share.
Hmm. Hmm.
Let's welcome Brother Joe Barker. Brother Joe, I hope you're feeling well. I heard you were in a very bad accident. I bless God that you were
Oh my.
here. We
Sorry.
miss your interest today, but Lasso, thank you. You're doing a great job showcasing Musa's work. I think you're bringing lots of visibility. Kudos to you. We owe you one. All right. Brother Ezekiel, hello. Good to have you here. Brother Emmanuel Jackson, hello. Cisco, thank you for being here. We welcome all of you. Please share the video as your friend may not be my friend or Dr. Richardson's friend, and then the message can get to her. Um, we come from a good place. We come from a place of love when we speak to you. We come from a place of patriotism when we talk to you. We also believe that for you to move the core from other people's eyes, you must start with your own house. So tonight we're going to start with our own house. And most of you know that Doc is a psychology. So her approach, she have to go digging into stuff and get background information, middle part information, then project the future before she derive her her analysis. Me,
Yes.
I'm a bulldozer. I bring it. Okay.
Hmm.
And
Bring it
and that's
on.
and that's how we're able to, they say we gel. That's how we gel. That we're talking about my advocacy and her advocacy. But let's talk a little bit before we just dive in. That have been advocating, not just for Liberian. But for the immigrant community, most of you people do not know that Doc is an expert witness, okay, in her state, and in fact, in the tri-state on
Mhm.
immigration,
Mhm.
on other behavior and culture practices that is within Africa. Yes,
Says, let me take this call. It's important.
yes, that's okay. Put yourself on mute.
It's the person that will call. Let me put.
Okay, put yourself on mute. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna just when she comes back, she will put herself on. I'm gonna put myself here. All right. So Doc does behavior analysis. She's an expert witness, Liberian as us. We praise other people. Yesterday, no disrespect, and I'm going to say this, but I'm going to talk about it. Yesterday, I saw the University Consortium, and let me give you a background. I don't care who said, but I'm going to tell you. In 2014, 2015, I was running to be the president of the Liberian Association of Metropolitan Atlanta. Yes, I was the president of Liberian Association of Metropolitan Atlanta. There are about 40,000+ Liberians within the Georgia area. And my platform, one day I will post it out here. I ran with the former president of the Lofa County organization here, the ODS Lofa County organization here, who is also a founder of the BWI or Alumni Association, and he a founder of that. He was my vice president, a little bit older than I am. On our platform, we said we're going to bridge Liberia. We're going to have a university consortium where we were going to tap into different universities in Liberia. In America, to much with Liberia, like we used to do this pen pad days, kind of bring in, how you call it, we had Dr. Warner, who is now the first, Black senator from Georgia, came on with one of our speaker, the city mayor, in fact, the what do you call it, the police chief, okay, sheriff of Clayton County, okay, which held the first Black George in the whole of Georgia, was our guest speaker. Denzilla James, who is a senator, a district 113 or something like that, was another guest speaker to an event, who were going to march within and tap into different university to help us out, right? But as the beginning of our wing, and because a lot of stuff are coming our way, folks, my election, maybe this lifetime, there will never be another election. I'm not bragging in the Liberian community like that. There were over 1,200 people who showed up, never in the history, even me being elected as vice president. There were over 600 people that showed up. You like to carry 600 people, they got to pay people to come vote. I didn't pay nobody. For my election, people gave me money and I have and change left over. I'm just giving you a background. So that was part of my platform. But when Christopher Neal came to Georgia and said we were going to get a grant for $250,000, Alexander Cummings offered almost $300,000 for us to get our own place. If we can get it, we started with a pilot. The war in the community, just like you're fighting among yourself in Liberia, was not easy. So Cynthia Nash, which is the what do you call it? There was the honorary council at the time, decided she will go ahead and take the lead. I supported her. So the first fundraiser, I see some of you are yelling and carrying on. That, please forgive me. I'm carrying the Dr. Richardson didn't put this in my mouth, but I'm coming somewhere with it. I'm making sense of it before I come to the tie issue and stuff. Then, yes. Then Cynthia Knight decided she would take care of him. The first fundraiser we had, you all can see my picture on Facebook. Papa Boaka Kim. We had it at the St. Georgia Tech. Okay, made a connection. The Tuskegee University, Clark Atlanta, is saying that we're signing the same contract over and over. I'm not sure. But for me, you will always get my truth. I don't tell story because I like to sleep and wake up in peace. Now, yesterday I heard people saying the same thing, how you call it, because I was a Liberian, we self-hate. When this position came up and they were talking, Dr. Richardson, you were cussing this woman. And let me say this, that's not her who's saying that, I'm saying this. And somebody says, so how far you want to take? She's more qualified than her. Dr. Richardson is a tenured professor, head of department, run her own psychology firm, manage, I'm telling you, all right? And she also an expert witness for the state. Her signature, her stamp can get somebody a green card or can deny somebody a green card. Hostem can get somebody off the hook for committing anything or not or cannot. You was screaming and cussing this woman. Oh, she didn't support us. She didn't support us. But that white person, that foreigner, you will all fall in line because we hate ourselves, because we are so insecure. But let me come back to the story. I just wanted to tell you that Dr. Richardson has been advocating, in fact, advocating since the early 90s or before in different organizations in the Liberian community and in the African community. Not just Liberian community, Hostem goes wild. All the different practices in Africa, even from Lebanon and different countries that come to America, that alarm almost similar belief of our nation. She gets to go and analyze and testify and give people hope. I just want you to know that. And yes, she's a full tenure professor. She's about to retire. So, Liberian people, until we see each other as each other helper, we will continue to struggle. And then the thing is, just in our community, when a Liberian person dies, the Lebanese people don't contribute. The Chinese people don't contribute. The Ghanaian people, I said they're friends to you, they don't contribute. No disrespect to I got friends that are Ghanaian. If I die tomorrow, they will show up. But not the whole community. I'm talking about in bulk. They don't show up. The American people, I said you're working with them, you're your friends, that the only time they will show up. Thank you, Sis Lucy. Okay. But when push comes to shove, that's us Liberian people. If you're somebody that you put YouTube up, go for me, or we, the Liberian people, will do it. When your child is in danger in Liberia, we, the Liberian people, will do it. When sis Nisua is ready, almost every week, somebody from the diaspora will donate for her to feed children in Liberia. It will take us Liberian people to build our country. It will take us to love one another, to create an enabling environment. It will take patriotism and love of each other for us to create a Liberia that all of us want to live in. All of us want to coexist in. Now I have said enough. I'm going to come back here. The essence of leadership. I'm going to start by this. The essence of leadership is to, Doc is finished, so she's back, is to inspire.
Mm-hmm.
It is to inspire. It is not to follow the people. It is not to meet the people where they are. You know, I hear this cliche, okay? When we don't want to work harder, when we don't want to convince, okay? When we don't want to put everything on the line, when we don't want to show the people our vulnerability, the essence for which we show up, how we got there, then we say you must meet the people where they are. You know what? Jesus said, and if you're not Muslim, God forgive me. And even if you're Muslim, because Muslim people believe that Jesus is a prophet, is one of the greatest prophets. But I don't believe so. I believe Jesus, in the Holy Trinity. I believe if Jesus were leading the flocks, or Moses were leading the flocks, or David were leading the flocks, okay, and he got and saw his flocks were going into the ravine, he would run and redirect them. That's the essence of leadership. Mm-hmm. I got this new thing that going on. People who are comfortable with the society, people who are comfortable that are benefit from the society, will continue to benefit from the society. They tell you, they will meet the people where they are. That is a cheap, I'm saying, I don't care who said it before, change it takes them. It's a cheap excuse not to work hard. If people are where they are, you must work harder. You must inspire them, okay? For greatness, you must empower them. You must encourage them to see what you have seen, to see the bigger picture. And this is and I'm gonna put it on Dr. Richardson to talk, and then we're gonna go on into talking about what transpired this week, and we will end with the role of Musability. And you know what, guys? Let me knock my chest. I am proud of getting on the plane many times, running in the dust, walking in the mud, being
Mm-hmm.
out in the middle of the night, hanging out with my people, driving all the way to almost Africa Coast, all the way to Guinea, to Sierra Leone, to make sure that this man was elected. Okay, and we would look at the bigger picture, because you know what, people are asking me, and that asking people are asking me, my sister, you are not concerned where Musa is getting his money from. All of them who needed to be are being asking Musa when he declared his assets, where did he get his money from? That's the first thing we needed to have done. Where did Musa get his money from? If the Liberian government is telling us one man like Musa, all the Liberian government millions of dollars, and he giving them hundreds of thousands of dollars based on his business, and he's hiring maybe hundreds of Liberians, okay, because the Liberians that are running gas station, he has something to do with it. Liberian who's selling gas in glass bottle on the sidewalk that they're on a daily life, he has something to do with it. The Liberians who are calling you to go build their roads, okay, that's also the person who's driving the tractor, that's job. When we went, that's how many people we saw at the Yard River when you were putting the bridge. That bridge took Liberians, it took foreigners, it took a
Yes.
lot of manpower, truck
Mm-hmm.
to deliver material, that's jobs.
Yes.
Truck
Yes.
to people to dig the place, it took,
Yes.
that's a job. People
Yes.
to feed those people, that's a job. People
Mm-hmm.
to put those wires and build the road, that's a job. Let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
During the recovery process in the 30s in America, what FDR did was they built dams, they built roads. Even during the
Mm-hmm.
recovery period under Obama, they have to redo roads and add road structure. Construction always boosts the economy. So he boosted the economy. But I'm going to stop here at that on leadership, the essence of leadership. Because I'm tired of hearing Liberian people will meet the people where they are. So you meet them, is that where they ought to be?
No, no, that's our, primary task of a leader is to be a visionary.
Yes,
Okay, a
correct.
visionary. So
Mm-hmm.
when you have visions about your country, you don't even see the country where it is. You see the potential of the people in the country.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not about meeting meeting the country where it is. It's about seeing the potential of the country, looking at a place. One of the beauty of people who are in real estate, they can look at beauty in somewhere where I don't see any beauty in, but then they can tell me,
Like you
that
driving on the road and seeing every all the flower beds on Nima Kante Road. Sorry.
let me tell you what she's talking about. I was talking about landscaping the different
Mm-hmm.
towns, and
Mm-hmm.
she got so sick and tired of me.
Mm-hmm.
I was seeing vision of our country, how we can beautify our country,
Mm-hmm.
make our country uh, just so beautiful from the money that we are getting from Nima County. And that's what she's talking about, because we're driving together in the car. I think we're coming from Sunny Kole, if Yekepa, that's Sunny Kole, right? Yekepa.
Yekepa. What coming from Yekepa? Mm-hmm.
Yekepa. And, people were telling us the stories of the different towns along the way.
Right.
And I was having visions, of how we could beautify, landscape the different towns along the way. But, I'm using a metaphor for you just to let you know that, a leader will look at the budget of our country and predict to us in 10 years, in 1 year, in 6 months, this is where I want to carry the country. They will
Correct.
sit down and bring, something that we'll talk about later, something that Musa Bedouin District 7 did today was he called different leaders, town chiefs, clan chief, superintendents, all of them together for them to sit down and talk about the progression, the development of the country, of the district, of the
Yes.
county, okay?
Correct.
Yeah, at large, the county at large. But this is what a visionary does. Someone who's thinking about the country. And this is what we ask for. Show us your roadmap. We can't see it. Show us the
Yes.
plan. We can't see it. I've spoken a lot of times. Even education, you say you got an agenda. Tell us under this agenda, I'm using education. We have X amount of schools in the country, X amount of teachers in the country. This is X amount of schools in this county in the next 12 months, because education is not nothing to joke with. You got to really be prepared. We want to know how many of these schools are productive, which means that they are putting out students, they have enough students, the vicinity in which they are in, okay, the assessment of the teachers. And when you do that, then
High
you know what
performing
you
school.
have. Yes. Okay, then you know, okay, do I need a meeting in this school? Do I need to combine this school? Do I don't have school in this district? But nobody's telling us. We're just going by the old template that we have used since JJ Rao time to today. And so that's what I want. I want someone to, in each the areas, tell us what is your vision? What is your roadmap to development? Every day, I 1 year old, their place get 10 machines. This place gave us $2 billion. This place gave us. So what are you doing with the money? Or what are you doing with the machines? We don't know. We don't know where the machines are. Okay. So that's why when we come and speak about leadership, a leadership has to be honest. A leadership has to be knowledgeable. And even if you don't have the knowledge about what you want to do or how you want to serve your people, you reach out to other people. These days education is not about memorization. It's about how you find references to information. So how you can learn information. You reach out to your counterpart. You got Mahatma there. Okay. You got all these different African leaders who are doing very well, Toure, who are doing very well in the region. You call them up. You say, how you doing? Aricos, hello, I'm here. How you doing electricity? How did you get your power in our country to be the way it is? I'm trying to build a dam here. What are you guys using? You call, you look, you use. How much would it cost us to get a windmill? How much would it cost us to get a solar panel? How much would it cost us to get a dam? You have this discussion with your people. Now, I'm not saying that you're close to, because when I'm talking, you'll say, oh, the president having the discussion with LEC. No, let us know what's going on in the country. The press conferences that you're having, talk to your people. Tell us that the president is investigating these areas of electricity. Okay. And of course, it told us, it said that they had AC meeting in Lima County. The vice president just hosted. Well, what became of the meeting? Have we heard? Maybe you did. You seen it? I have not heard anything.
Yeah, I have not heard.
Okay.
That's a side story in the gravel bush.
Okay. So that's what I mean. I want to just capture the two things of a leader being a visionary and also a leader having knowledge. There's so many other qualities like courage, honesty, having the willpower. The willpower is an important and key instrument characteristic of a leader. Yes. So I'm going to turn it back to you, Cindy.
And one of the most important is a leader gain respect by walking the talk. You cannot say one thing and switch to something else. People lose respect for you. Okay. But your core gift would be, like Doc said, a visionary. Because you must see beyond the issue that face the nation or face an individual. It's like you're a football coach and you see a child with a talent. You know the child has a talent and the talent needs to be harnessed. You have to find a way to inspire that child to reach that child's full potential. That's what the nation is. Yeah. And that's what,
Yeah, and I'm using that analogy. You remind me. I used to play sports when I was younger, and we'll be playing a place like Carteria or what are other schools? Or Convent, Carteria Convent. We'll be playing them, and when we coming down, the court of the ball, and we used to play 2-1-2, which is a defense position or either offense position. But when you know that the opponent is coming after you, they know your strategy. You're gonna switch. So we'll switch. We'll do 1-2-1-3-1 to on them. We'll know. So that's what a vision is. A vision sort of anticipates what a leader will anticipate what is ahead of time. Like we know. You say, and they cut off $17 million from us. You Cindy? Yeah. So that's $17 million. Right now, we should be having that conversation. Where are we going to get that money from to replace the $17 million that you said is cutting from us, from the different programs? Where? And that's the kind of conversation. That's what a visionary, a leader who has a visionary outlook on the country will do. He will be sitting and strategizing at night. okay, this place took the money away from us. Where am I going to cut? What waste can I cut in government? How can we make Liberia a better place? And that's all we're asking of leaders in the country.
Yes, Doc. And I think it was you and I that there were 2 years ago that we said, I think the third or the fourth killer in Liberia was suicide. And lately, I see a lot of that. I'm not sure if those are actual suicide people are just being unalive, but it's something in these things are not documented. And I hope they can document so we have some data and statistics and know why. But that's a story for another day, story that you have to think about. That's your area, it's not mine. Now, we brought this to bring you to say, I'm going to find this star picture. Okay, I'm going to find this star picture, Doc. Let me see if I can find it and post it.
Sure.
Most of you reach out to me. Some of you actually not just reach out to me, call me out, tag me on Facebook. Tag me and tag me on Facebook that because tag my family and somebody will make a phone out of this. And so I have not spoken. No, this weekend I was we have to bury one of our children in the community.
Yes, you
One of
did
my
say
nieces
that.
in the community.
Yes.
And two, I was at work. Folks, I don't know how the people who can be at work and be on the phone do. In Liberia, it's free to do it. In the United States, we don't. Especially those of us who work in classroom. You can't have students and you be on your phone trying to do other things. You just can't do that. Okay, we don't do that. If you see me writing, I'm home or I'm off work. Okay.
True.
Yes.
I can't be in the classroom, you see there, even though I teach doctoral level students, but I cannot be in the classroom
Right.
and be on my phone. That is so disrespectful. Even I don't allow students to be in my classroom, be on the phone or either the laptop. We have that as a professional development checklist for them, you know,
Right.
discuss this.
So that actually, I'm gonna let you lead this because when
Okay.
I talk, people will say, "Oh, that feminist so is this and that," but let's
So
see where
let's
we
have this
go.
conversation.
Yeah,
So
let's do it.
I will
Actually,
start
I'm
off by
gonna.
saying,
Is that okay to have people call in because
sure.
I want to hear from people what
Yes,
they are saying, okay,
yes,
and
yes,
we can pick it back from there. So
yes.
if you're out there, most of you know my phone number. I'm gonna go ahead and post this picture with Ty, right? And I particularly was thinking about because Ty was here with me about a week and a half ago.
Yeah,
We
but
had
we
a
had
conversation
it was a
about
week we had a conversation.
yeah, a plan for his community. Okay.
Mhm,
And people say this poster right here, the billboard, I think
mhm.
it's about maybe 50 or at most $100. I can tell you that we did a lot of that in Liberia. So I'm not gonna talk about billboard because that way Liberian people
Yeah,
say,
actually, it is amazing. I did not even see see the
yes,
billboard. The billboard was not even the center of my conversation, but it
yes.
was the center of many
But
conversations.
I see the place is being clear. So I'm not sure, but I like to anyway. Let me bring this up that you
Yes.
start
Yes. So,
because
I like to start off by saying, first of all, you and I visited the area, and
yes,
you
we drove
and
through
many
here.
others,
Yes.
you and many others have reminded me that we were in the area in which Ty represents. So I want to tell people that we're not just talking because we're talking. It's somewhere that we've been to. We
Right.
got a sense of what it's like to live in that part of the world. Okay. Secondly, I think you also reminded me we were in, was it District 1? And there was
Yes,
a
we were in District 1. Yes. Now
yes,
Flomo area.
yes, someone who was running to be representative at the time.
Right.
This is what he built, and he was dedicating this to another prominent person in the area.
Right.
Okay, I want to just start off by saying that, and I had mentioned this previously. You and I looked at this building And one of the first things we looked at was how could it be better?
How could it be better? We did.
Yeah.
We came back. Yes.
Yes. In fact, even while we're sitting there, because it was a long period of time, we're waiting in this
Right.
building, in a building very similar to this. And the only thing was missing, they didn't have the stalls, the market stalls in the building at the time. Okay. And we were like, okay. And I recommended a place for children, like a child care center around, because a lot
And
of
a
our women,
bathroom.
yes, a
Yes.
bathroom. And then
Mm-hmm.
you also we talked about a storage and also
Yes.
increasing the size
Mm-hmm.
of such a building. And
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly what I posted. People wanted me, like you said, to bully Ty on me social media. They wanted me to say, "Oh, it was what he did was wrong." I can't say that because I want to see, does the legislative engagement funding that Ty gets, how does it commensurate to what? How does it measure up? How does it compare to what he built? That's number one. That was my number one concern. Number two, um, he said that this is the first of many projects that he was working on. That's what he said. I believe someone reminded me that that's what he said. Um, so yes, it's this building that we're looking at needs to be improved. Secondly, and we already told you some of the improvements that we'll do off just thinking about it, just off the top of our head. That and secondly, what kind of funding he gets for legislative engagement, I don't know. And thirdly, we've been to this area and we know how isolated this place is. We know how the women in this area, how a lot of them sell goods and products, and what might be helpful for them is not to be under the sun all day trying to sell whether they got their corn or their pineapple or their pepper or what have you. And that's what I said. And I'm not the kind of person that would come on Facebook to bully anybody. I will stick to the issue, and that's the issue I'm sticking at. Is this not about Ty? I didn't even see, to tell you that it's not about Ty for me. I didn't even see a picture. I didn't even see his name. So I will turn it over back. I will turn it over to you, Cindy, and then let me hear what you have to say about
Okay.
it.
I see somebody want to call. I want to
Yeah.
hear from everybody else.
Mhm.
That number is also WhatsApp. If you want to call on it, it's WhatsApp. It's 770-355-9094, or you can call my 404-234-2534, which is under there. It is also on WhatsApp. So you can call either one to be heard. Now, here is what, I wanted to come hard, but I would say what my principal can say. Hello, caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Thank you. I'm answering the call from my GB, Liberia.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your thought?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I've been following the conversation for a while now, and I got 2 points to talk about. Dr. Richardson tried to talk about the 17 million that was being cut down by the USA through the tax advisory committee that Elon Musk is spearheading. But what I have to say is, I don't think that should be a problem for us in Liberia. I don't think we should be thinking about that. There are too many countries in Africa that the USA, through the government of Donald Trump, have come down very hard on, and I think they're moving on. Look at Nigeria. Look at South Africa. Look at Burkina Faso. These are countries that, even though they receive some donors funding from the USA, but since President Trump assumed the position as president of the USA, and he signed the executive orders to cut down the huge spending of packages to sending money to African nations. I mean, these countries have been moving on very far. In fact, some of them have been come down very hard on the USA, including their donations to their country, including South Africa and Nigeria. But I don't know why Liberia take this this fee is 17 billion. So important. There are too many ways that we can use to, raise up funds that will even surpass the 17 billion. Look at the legislature in Liberia. Dr. Richardson in Liberia, I think you're aware. The legislature in Liberia is one of those branches of government that location. Very huge. Look at the behaviors. I think this is time that there are actions taken, at least, to cut down the huge spendings of packages on the legislature when we're not doing well for the people of Nigeria. We're not doing what they were sent there to do. You look at insulting each other, fighting each other, intruding into each other's vehicles, busting each other's offices, destroying things. Is that the reason that you were elected? But this is Liberia. This is our own mentality of politics when it comes to our leaders who come to us during electionary periods, talk to us, give us the sweet words, tell us, oh, vote for me, and when I'm elected, I'll make sure that this district, this county benefit the most from the government. And when they assume the position, when they are elected by the people, by our mothers who go and stand on the sun and they rain, tie their header, their lapa, and say, this person will go. And when they ascend to these positions, they start to act as if they didn't play when they were small. When it's time for business, they don't do business. Instead, they start talking about their personal lives. How did that person go to club? How did that person, in fact, they're not paying their British? How did that person, in fact, they can't tell my people come to session? Is that the reason that they were sent there for?
So then let me ask you, Anthony, let's redirect. Let's look at, Todd has said this project was one of many. I didn't look at them. I'm actually just looking at it today really well because I see there's a background there where the place is clear. I don't know what that particular area is for that I see behind there. Speak to that for us a little bit. You're the one who lives in Liberia. And besides, just to speak, Doc and I have been here. In fact, this road, I think Todd then post some temporary bridge there the other day. All right. Going to this place was very scary for me. I tried to stop Musa many times to stop from going. I was squeezing Dr. Richard, see him, we can't go. Literally almost do something else on myself because there were no road. We'll get to a place where Musa have to get behind the wheel where the driver stay and give him direction to, kind of get the car on the log to kind of direct the car so we can pass. What is your thought on this project that taught me? I don't know. I know where I come from, where I live in the United States. The legislature does not have implementation power. Okay. They do not. Okay. And I'm sure Liberia law is the replica of the American laws. Okay. What legislature can do though, they can earmark projects. And that projects can be funded through the agency that is responsible. And they have oversight to make sure that that project is done. And those project EMI that usually within the budget year. If you don't spend it, you got to return the money. You can't carry it over, right? And that.
Yeah.
And maybe next week I will have Dr. Kweye because he worked for an agency within the state government for the Georgia DOT, Department of Transportation, and that's what they do. Okay, when the government allocate, they do the implementation. Okay, but you first have to see where the country, the country for us that with the state needs. Okay, and how long it take, how much will be the money, what it will be the cost, and all of the project specs will be ready for them to be presented, and that's how it's done. So in Liberia, again, we break the laws willfully, so long it benefit us. So what is your thought on this project? That way I want to know first, because going through that place is deserted. That place did not even have a cell phone. I think that said we put 2 towers there already. Okay, this is the first place that he put that the people can sit and they need to sit under the sun. I don't know, but what's your thought on that? You seen this all on Facebook.
So when we posted that picture of the rest tour along the Zole Road, I saw the post and I saw too many reactions. Imagine 2,200 persons commenting, and 95% of the comments that I saw under the post that was made are all negative about the project. But the first thing, legislative engagement of legislative development projects in districts through the budget, I think fiscal year 2024, an agreement was made by the legislature that $100,000 United States dollars should be allocated to each district. That's 73 districts in Liberia. So 100,000 each should be allocated to each of them for district development projects. And later on this year, it was cut down to 37,000.
Yes.
100,000 to 37,000.
Yes.
So that's approximately 70 to 73% that was cut down. And that money is being used not by the lawmaker, but by the district development council or whosoever in the district or whatever group in the district that is responsible for the implementation of projects will link with LIS. LIS in Liberia is responsible for implementation of projects by the Liberian government in districts and counties. When the budget is being passed and the money is allocated, LIS use this money, and the money that's being allocated according to LIS, the policy is a project should surpass $9,000 before it's being implemented by them. So that means no project below 9,000 can be implemented by LIS from the 37,000 that's being allocated for district. So looking at our top one mini project that he did along the road, the rest all, I don't see it as something negative. I see it very positive. When you're riding along the Morovia Highway going to Brown County, Limba, I think you've been in Liberia on too many occasions. You've seen people standing on the rain, selling groundhog, deer, some people selling along the road on touches, selling palm nuts, cassava leaves.
I use the bathroom. We drove everywhere. I used the bathroom in the bushes. Take a lapa from her bag and spray it to cover my backside so I can use it.
Yeah. And it was scary at times because we're in the bushes.
Yes. Atmosphere that Liberia is. So the women along the road sell their things on the touches, and when the rain comes, because they live far away from the road, they will have to stay on the road and fall on them and on their produce.
Actually, Anthony, hold on one second. We saw a woman, I think she was coming from either selling or for the farm. She had a baby on her back. She had one baby in her hand. She took her slipper, I think that was her last slipper from her feet. Instead of protecting her feet where the worm egg will not go in her feet, she put it on top of her head. The rain was beating she and her children as they were walking right there in the mud on the road. We saw that. Yeah, between Mempa and Ghana. Yes. But go ahead and finish your talk.
And almost the night, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. And the night before you seen it, I think we saw a snake in our water.
The very last time I checked it, like you said, the road wasn't how it is now. And according to the fact that lawmakers' responsibilities are not to build roads, are not to build houses or market halls in the county or in the districts, but they sometimes use their personal funds, their salaries, even though they are taxpayer money, but they work for it as well. They use their salaries to do these projects. So when they are being done, at least we should appreciate the efforts. The work of the lawmaker is not to build roads. The work of the lawmaker is not to build market halls. But instead, like you said, have to earmark these projects that need to be done in the district, take it to plenary, being discussed, when it's agreed upon, is then added in the budget through the District Development Council. So when lawmakers take their personal money, I heard from her retired woman that this project is not from the 37,000 has been given for digital development. It's from his own salary. So when these people do these kind of things, I think they need commendation. We should appreciate the efforts. And like you said, this is the starting. So if people want the starting of something to just come up, boo, as if it's magic, I don't think there should be even groundbreaking doing our own nowadays. And I think that should be groundbreaking because we break ground for the commencement of something, or a project. So I think this is a symbol of groundbreaking for the numerous projects that will be done at this site. And I'm going to our own way. This is not just the only project, it's not just the only security that has been built at this point. There are too many of these that are not the rule. For the people that go in the bush and hunt, go and kill their deer, the red deer, groundhog, squirrel, and bring it to that area to say that when people are passing using that route, they can rest, buy some apples, some orange, groundnuts, and eat it, sit there for a while. Feel the comfort of the area. Take some pictures.
Thank you.
And like it's 2 months from now, you will see the flower growing. You will see how beautiful the area will become. When you want something to be successful, you don't just get successful in a split second. It takes time. So from my own perspective, I'm highly commendable with this project. And I think there should be more there should be more commendation from the people at least to give the encouragement. Because there's a lot of members that they're not even done well for the people that elected them. Too many of them are low. And a person that we refer to as a freshman lawmaker is doing these kind of things with his own salary that not even 2 years in the course. I think it needs commendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. That is that. So I'm gonna say this because and Anthony just gave me a different perspective. So I'm sort of kind of speak. He's a very young man. Anthony is like 18, 19 years old. Yeah, very, very intelligent.
Impressive.
Yeah, very impressive. Yeah, very intelligent young man. Wow. So the people that are supposed to implement project in Liberia, they tell us they cannot implement project unless it's 9,000 and up. Oh wow. Okay, Doc. So we talked about and I wanted to say this too, and I know I got a lot of calls. I heard you. Okay, yeah. Tell my little brother, that's true. I heard all of you. All right. And I know that we all have expectation. You have traveled, you have built companies that we believe whatever you undertake will be more futuristic than where he put down. I get it. Okay. I get it. So I would say most of you who talked, I'm sure Ty heard you. That, yeah, he heard you all. I'm here. I've been trying to talk to him. He have been very busy because this weekend he was a busy weekend. He did call me back twice. He missed me twice. I was also at a funeral, like I told you all. Yeah, I had a conversation with Todd, and he was excited about things that he was going to do for his people in his district. He was meeting people here, especially on to partnership with different organizations like Whole Food and stuff, and see what they can produce and ship to America to create jobs. He said, "I don't have money. I don't know where other people get their money from, but I can at least create job where our people can work and empower our people in our community." So what really cool with Liberian people is when there's negativity, people show up. They show up. People show up. I'm sure a lot of people are expecting me to go ahead and rain today. And if I was, I would have 500 people on this platform. But we don't. We don't because I like to hear from that perspective because she calculate stuff, look more than just in and out, and go beyond what she talks. And I wanted to hear from her. And this young man, this is a 18, 19-year-old young man. He were very on point, Anthony. You
Mhm.
need to out educating your peers. Um,
Yes.
Liberia is in a bad place. That particular place, I think, from the perspective of that, and thinking about our travel on that path, where the grass are on the road. In fact, when cars are coming, the other car have to park for the other car to pass because the two cars
Yes.
go concurrently. There's no
And we're not
space.
even sure. Remember, there were times we're not even sure where two cars
Yeah,
are going
yeah.
to
So and when Musa is going, he got to put gas in stuff and carry it because you don't know when the car will not have gas because of the
Yes.
distance. There's no gas station there. There's no
Yes.
reception there per se.
Yes.
I believe Ta said the gas Cellcoin. I think two company to get there. They're trying to get internet system. I know they already have internet system there, and they were working on some of the school. And I think he said the kids were they provided material and the people were building their own school. But here's
Yes.
my message to Ta. Ta,
Mhm. Mhm.
I believe you came from a good place.
Mhm.
But I also believe everybody who came raining on you came from a good place too. Here's why.
Mhm. Mhm.
They have expectation of you. They believe that you know better. They believe that you will be a leader, especially coming from the US, who you are exposed. You're
Mhm.
built organization, you're traveled the world, that you will put down something, even if it's small, that people will want to model. I think that's where more people are coming from. And I don't blame them either. Okay. Um, when I first saw it, I just saw everything else coming. But after Doc has spoken and I would experience it, then I see, was it like on the fly? Is there a place where our people need to be, the women need to be? But I need, before I conclude, I need more information on where are we? Was this just something that you saw that needed to be done? Is there a long-term plan? Is it temporary? Is there a long-term plan? Okay. So that would give me more insight in
Yes.
respect to, yes. I that the other day on your farm, right? And I'm not cutting you off. You build a quick stuff for the people to be there. All
Mhm.
right. If somebody came in and say, all the more you get at where you building, hey Carol, what's up, mama? I saw you parking, thank you. Okay. And people say, oh, all the more you get, sitting on spoon I ate there, but they don't know what you're doing in the back. They don't know the mansion you got in Sierra Leone that they now dig out the whole thing that coming, all that money coming go, man. All the money
Yeah.
that you see.
Yep.
They don't, yeah,
Yeah.
they don't know that. Okay.
No.
So
And mhm.
go ahead, Da. Go ahead. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
and you're
stop. Go
right.
ahead.
They don't know how many women are hired on a weekly basis to do the farming, the cassava plant. It takes usually how it works in that our culture is like you have to have day. It's like having day workers. Women
Mhm.
from the surrounding area come and they do the planting. It's not men who do the planting. So if you have 5 acres of cassava land or 10 acres of cassava land, women got to come there and you got to pay them daily. They don't know how much I pay the people to brush the land. We're talking about acres of land here. They don't know how much it's going to take for me to buy the cassava milling plant. They don't know how much it's going to take for me to buy the gari plant. They don't know how much it takes for me just to even carry solar light, solar panels for them to have light in that place there so that it won't be so dark for our people. So I am providing employment. So it doesn't bother me, if and I'm not here to measure arms of anyone, but so that was a good example that you use. They don't. You see, this is what a leader does in terms of starting off with the conversation. You have vision. I have vision for the area, that little area that we have. Okay, and that's the vision that I'm stuck with, regardless of what anybody has to say. But going back to Ty's subject, I agree with you, Cindy. We expect more from him, considering his exposure. I agree with you that Ty, you, myself, and everybody else have heard what a lot of the people, what they had to say about his legislative process. So I'm sure he's going to go back. A good leader listens to their leader, I mean, to their followers. They listen to the people that that report to them, or they lead, and they change things. They make changes. They assess themselves. So I'm not going to come here on in the public and give Todd some lashing like everybody expects, because we know we are attracted to toxicity. We are attracted to drama as a people. Okay, we don't know how to discuss things peacefully. There's nothing wrong with calling and say, my man here, Todd, this is the issue. The issue is, which I will stick to the issue. I don't do personality fighting, and I stick to the issue in all of my discussions. If you follow me, you will know that very well. Todd, this place that you built, it will be enhanced by putting a child care, as we already said, which we talked about earlier. It will be enhanced by putting a storage facility there. As you said, the people come in that area, they don't even have, how long you can keep pepper for? How long you can keep a pineapple for? All storing it, it will be enhanced by putting a bathroom. And make sure that the money that you spend on that project commensurate, it is compared to, okay, the money that you are receiving. So you won't be using like Brimpo money for using that Brimpo, or being wasteful like Brimpo money, or putting some in your pocket, or being corrupt. I'm not suggesting that, but just make sure that it is. And then lastly, something that the young man I called, I really liked. He said we need to understand. Anthony said we need to understand the legislative process. They started off with $100,000 of giving, and I heard this too, and I'm glad maybe he heard it too, but it's something that we have to confirm. I heard this from Representative Alex Nuat last night. He said they cut the money down to about $37,000. That's what it started with $100,000. It cut it down to $37,000. Now we have to go back and verify that amount. Number one. Number two, the question was asked, should legislators be engaged in legislative process? Should they have legislative engagements? That's the question. How can that be changed where, like you were saying, in other parts of the world, legislators make sure projects are done in their districts, okay? They make sure things are put within their budget. If my legislator wants a school in our neighborhood because maybe there's an increase in birth rate, he's going to make sure that when the budget comes to plenary, he's there advocating for that district and giving the people some statistics. Say, listen, there's an increase in the birth rate. We need an educated population. We need this, we need that. And please put this money in for a new school. Okay. And yes, sometimes they win and sometimes they lose. And maybe this is what I don't know how the whole idea of legislative engagement came about, really. I don't know how these people started getting their money, but it's something that we have to.
For people.
Okay, there we go. But before that, what did they do?
I mean, like here, it is. That's why you have planning and development. That's what you do. You do census. You look at the population growth for the last 10 years and project based on the growth in that community. And then you look at different trends that will offset all of that. Then you project the population for that particular area. That's how schools are built. And so those supposed to be part of this executive agenda. And if those things are not focused, that when the legislature come in and say, no, my population grew from so and so. If you're putting money in here for Bon County district so and so, or city so and so, you want to make new city, our population has quadrupled. So we need to have new city, and we need to have new schools. We need to have new municipals. And that's when they come to advocate. The funny thing is they reduce the engagement for the people, but these 3 people carried the 5 people.
Yes.
President Bouaka,
Pro Tem, Vice President,
Speaker, the region Speaker, Yomli Kanga, the so-called she called herself opposition. I don't know when me was opposition. You are collaborator. I don't know what, but I will deal with you next week. So your people must be ready to come cause because I already know how to do. Jeremiah Kuhu is a young man. You would think he would come and say the future is ahead of me. This I'm not going to be a part of. All of them increase their budget. You know, England cut down their budget for the legislature and both for the executive. Okay.
Of course.
John Mohammed is cutting down and starting with the executive.
Okay?
Yes. Okay. But
do we need all of those ministries? Do we need all of those departments?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. Can some of them be combined? And we even adding more ministry in. And I heard they just separated the Ministry of Tourism from the Ministry of Commerce. I mean, from the Ministry of Information. Sorry.
You do not need Ministry of Information. You already have press secretary. That way it needs to stay. You don't need Ministry of Information. You don't. Yeah. You need the tourism, which is like interior department or whatever department. If they're going to be wasting funds, you don't need it. Okay.
Yes.
So.
Yes, I agree with you. It you know, like what we started talking about, Yesenia, it's about having some kind of visionary outlook on the country. What can we do? How can we sit down and map out where these different executive ministries and branches, where can they work? You know, you don't have the same office doing the same job, repeating the same thing over and over and over. You know, somebody said that was insanity, you know? So yeah,
it is total insanity. Now I want to go to Musa. You know, and before I go to Musa, Doc, the money that you people are paying, we need to talk about this. Liberian people need to talk about it and redirect it. There is no way in heaven or in hell, anywhere that I know, that Liberians who are living in their own country, you pay them to live in their own houses to be represented, or to even be member of the executive, director, and ministers. You are paying them $3,000 plus monthly just for gasoline to run a generator. Why would that person work diligently to make sure the whole nation have electricity? Why would they work together collectively to make sure the country improves? You are paying, you're buying their car $60,000 a year, and you are paying them over $100,000 annually. Even the greatest nation in the world, the United States of America, they don't do that. Okay, the people, the Congress, because you have two sets of legislature. Okay, you have the local, like Georgia, we call our local legislature the Georgia General Assembly.
The state legislature.
And we're 10 million in Georgia. They don't even make $35,000 a year. We have a $40 billion budget. Okay. In America itself, they have over $20 trillion budget in the federal state, which they call the Congress. The people go to the Congress. They allocate incentive for rentage because they don't live in Washington. Most of our Congress people either sleep in their offices or they roommate with their friends. They're in Washington for 2 to 3 days. That's why most of them go on Monday. They meet on Tuesday. By Thursday evening, they're headed back to their own country, to their own states. Okay? You pay these people just gasoline alone says $3,000 plus just for gas, $2,000 for phone call. Why would they want telecommunication in the system? Okay, I heard there's a young man on the platform that a little bit can be annoying. Alex can speak good sometimes, but he's annoying. He's a little bit too combative for a lawmaker, for a leader on Spoon. I think that's his name, Alex. He does not give people time to talk. He's always like Dave, ready to fight. And let me send it, Alex, you're not at war. Let the people learn. You are a leader. They're supposed to come at you. They're supposed to talk to you. They're supposed to call you out. Listen. He does not listen. But that I'm going to leave that there. I will call you.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm glad you said that about what leadership is. A leader is supposed to listen, and we need to call on our leaders to spend time visiting their constituency to listen, to just listen. That's the hallmark of a good leader. And moving, as we segue into, what Musa did today, he put out, his plan, and also a progress report. I like to call that a progress report.
A progress report. He did.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also building on that, the plan of vision for the future. And one of the things, so Yesenia and I, we talk, frequently during the daytime when she's so busy, I can't get her. She's more busy than the first Michelle Obama, I would like to say. But anyway, when
really.
When I finally got a hold of her today, we were
really, Doc, seriously, like that,
talking about what Musa is doing, and she said one of the impressive, and even though you're here, you can correct me. One of the impressive things that she noticed, because we pay attention to non-verbal and verbal details, and she said, look at where our people were sitting. Look at the environment. Okay?
The environment, the place they were sitting.
Yes. And that's what Yesenia noted. Okay. So if you go to on Facebook, you'll find his progress report, the promises that he made to his constituents, and what he delivered to them. You'll find I learned a lot I read the progress report. I learned a lot. He got a map of the different districts in there, from Bond to Second Play, to feeding, those different parts of the country.
Fleeting.
Thank you, Fleeting. Yes. Okay. Fleeting. Yes.
That's all right. You got it. You get there.
I was just really impressed. I mean, I was really impressed with just looking at what he had to offer. And I'm sure, I wasn't there, but I'm sure that he probably had a lot of feedback to give to his people, and he probably took in a lot too. So yeah, that's one of the things that I wanted to say. But I see we have Carolyn joining us.
Yes, Carolyn, we got 8 more minutes. So you're late. You should have called and let us know you were coming. I just saw your stuff. Okay. Yes. So I wanted to share this really quickly. When I called Doc, I was excited. Our people were not sitting on no plantations. They were not sitting on dusty places. Our people were sitting in a place that they were leaders. They were well dressed. They came in, ready to listen. You can tell they were paying attention. They were paying attention. For me, and I would do it, how you call it, here it is. And I mean, just show you really quickly, then we can try to finish up.
I'm so happy StreamYard's working well. We can show things now for a while.
Yes. So look at they brought the children, but these are just let's go this way.
There we go.
This is Musa. Let me go this way. Yes. I see my old man there. You see our old man there sitting now. You see the floor is done. Yeah.
It looks like in the hall.
You see they're listening. You see the place. Musa built this place when we were over there. He was building it. This is right there in the yard. And I can't wait to go and see. Oh my God. I can't wait. Look at Look at what people are standing. They're not standing up, they're seated comfortably. Okay. Yes. And their shadow. Even during your inauguration, they even have air conditioning. The people got fan blowing them. They're sitting in the boat.
Really?
Yes.
Real?
Yes. Some of y'all were sweating. Your makeup them were melting. I'm saying it. Okay, I'm back.
I'll put that out.
Yeah, Carly was there, right?
Caroline was sweating like cow.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I have to add that one there, right?
I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Caroline, I'm sure you call because you have something to say, but we were talking about, we hear this slogan when Liberian people want to join in railway, they don't want to work. They don't want to roll up their sleeve. They don't want to educate our people and say where you are is not where you need to be. You ought to be here to redirect them. They say you meet the people where they are. Then you are not a leader. You're following. So that's matter. But come on, Oma.
Well,
and then the car issue. can talk about, then we will close up.
All right. Good evening. I just came on here to just put fire on the mountain.
Hey.
Anyway, everyone, thank you so much, Dr. Francine. I've seen the work you're doing in Liberia. It's your personal work. You are giving Liberians job. They are able
Yep.
to come on that farm, work, get a paycheck, and feed their family.
Yep.
Mhm.
That right there, whoever would say, "What have you done for your country?" Not everybody have to take the same route. The need in Liberia are so many. And one of the things that we have been preaching is creating jobs for people to be able to feed their family. And you are one of those that is doing that. And I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
I saw you on the farm. I was like, oh my goodness, Doc is on the farm. I hope she has her spray and everything.
I was even thinking about that, Mom. But yes.
But yeah, I think that's good. Cynthia, you just said something about Liberian people. People are saying Liberian don't want to work, Liberian don't want to get education. That and this, that is the wrong mentality. And until we change that narrative, nobody else will change it for us. The international community will not come to our aid. Look what is happening right now to us regarding the usage. There are other organizations that might pull up, like say, okay, usage is no longer there, and we are no longer able to support you. How can you run your country on handout?
Yes.
How? I mean, these people, this is like a charity. Basically, you're running your country on charity. So
Mhm.
what if something happened to the person that owned that charity? Then you don't run your country anymore. That's
Nope.
that's exactly what's happening right now.
Yep.
Liberia is so on fire. Like our leaders, if you notice, the citizens are not even concerned about usage because they have not benefited from
No,
usage.
they have not. Nope.
The
Nope.
people that are
Nope.
ready to fire and showing concern and talking about how removing of usage is going to affect or impact the educational system, the healthcare system. For how long our healthcare system has been broken? How long it's been our educational system has been broken? It is now that you know that because usage is pouring out that now you don't have is going to impact your educational system. You knew that from the beginning. You've been knowing that since 1847. So this
Yep.
cannot be news to you to say, oh, because USA is withdrawing their support, means
Mhm.
that our leaders they always try to blame the next person for their incompetency. They
But
always try.
Caroline, they're
Mhm.
getting the usage, but they're all increasing their paycheck.
Exactly. I was going to get to that.
Our J speaker took the budget from 1 million to 5 million.
How is that possible? How do you do that? Every time I'm sorry that I laugh. Every time you see this on the RLG speaker,
But the RLJ
they're gonna
speaker,
kill
the
us, but
regime
that's
speaker,
okay.
he called himself. Yeah, RLJ. Yes.
So
Go
how
ahead.
can
Go ahead, Caroline.
you telling us, you telling the international community your country is poor? No, your country is not poor. You are the one who making your country to be poor, making your citizens to be beggars because you are not doing what you're supposed to do. Okay,
Still,
so you can't tell me since 2022 till now you say have given you 423 million US dollars. That's what he said. That's what the finance minister said. I went and listened to his interview so many times because I wanted to hear exactly, I wanted to understand what he was saying. $423 million since 2022. That if I'm wrong, somebody please correct me. But I heard him say that during his interview. So what did you do with that? You have leaders that are breaking the laws every day. You have leaders that are making more money than some of our US government leaders in this country. And then now you're telling somebody your country is poor. How about you take all of that money and put it into your educational system? How about you take all that money, put it into the agriculture, healthcare, and what have you? So your people will be able to stand on their own and feed themselves that way. You don't have to rely on donors. You don't have to rely on any type of charity organization. Yeah, people will be poor. We understand that. Charity organizations will be there. We understand that. But you cannot run a country on charity. that is completely out of the picture. That is wrong. At the end of the day, whoever feeds you determine how much food to eat.
Exactly.
So now, on the case of your son, me, I say your son. On that case, I was
Okay.
one of those that got on my cousin. Ty is my cousin from
I know.
that side. So
Mhm.
that is absolutely, I expected way, way better from him. I expected way better from him. Musa is doing great. He probably needs to go to Musa and get a little bit of training. Honestly, I mean, not to pull him down, not to disrespect him in any way. I understand he's trying. And the thing about it is, that's why sometimes it's not good to speak up until the entire project comes to fruition. Because even though he like he said, this is the beginning of something. But mind you, says the reason why the race that happened this weekend happened, Liberians are angry.
Yeah.
Liberians are angry.
You can tell. And the spike team will go here
And
while that. Yes.
exactly. We are
Yes.
sitting on a time bomb. And when someone expects more of you and you do that, they will come at you. That a lot of us they transfer aggression on time because we are tired with, oh, at least he's doing something. We are tired with the little things. And we were like, okay, we can see the billboard more than the sitting place. If you want to say you want to put a bus stop, no problem. But and then Thomas was like, no, you don't understand what he's saying. He tried to read what I posted for me to understand it. I'm like, babe, right now I'm not understanding. This is not good. I didn't expect this of him. But again, like you said, we are coming from a good place because we have been hurt, we have been lied to,
Mhm.
and people that we trust to say, okay, this one would be better than the one that we put there yesterday, and they
Mhm.
come and this thing happen. Then you see people go on the rage. So if I think this right here will teach our lawmakers that Liberians are learning. Liberians are no longer the Liberians that you knew 10, 20 years ago. The internet is out
In
there.
fact,
People.
just 4 years ago, don't even go far. Just 4 years ago. Yeah.
Exactly. So my brother, my cousin, if you are listening, we you know what? I'm glad that that happened because it will teach the other lawmakers that we are no longer sucking milk. We want
And
something that is
we are
tangible.
not setting for anything.
We are not settling for less. We want something tangible. So please, I hope there will be a lot of things that is coming and will be better. Like that place over there, I don't know if it's going to be enlarged. That's a big land that could have gotten enlarged. People will say, oh, because how many people in Zwolle? We don't know. We don't care how many people in Zwolle. If you're going to do something, do it and do it with class, because we know who you are. We know that you've traveled. We know that you've lived the best life. So we expect better from him. If
We
Musa Benedict,
expect for you to bring our people into the future where you come from, in so to
where
speak. Yes.
exactly, yes. So my brother, please do try your best. If you have to go break that stuff down and do it better and put toilet, because if people come to
But
rest,
it can stay there temporarily while he build what he needs to build. That's what I see.
okay,
I think yes. Yeah.
yes, like
Yeah.
sometimes
Yes.
when you get your land, you put your little boss quarter there. You say, okay, this is a boss quarter for security purpose. I'll put someone in here and stuff like that. If that's what he has started, and the big project is going to come later on, I'm looking forward to that, and I will be the first to come and apologize and congratulate him. When he do good, we will congratulate. If our leaders don't do good, we will talk, and we are not keeping quiet. Says, yeah, we have been quiet. Liberian children have suffered. We have been quiet. They have made us to be timid. We don't know how to express ourselves because we should just say yes and no and okay. They just want us to settle. No, we are no longer settling. You know, Liberian children want to go to school. They want the best, like everybody else. We want to be able to go out there into the world and make an impact in the lives of people. We just don't want criminal justice in the school system. We want engineers. We want missionaries. We want astronauts. We want all of those professionals in the universities, in the schools. We just don't want business classes to be offered. We want scientists. We want physical therapists. We want respiratory therapists
and politicians.
I think we have enough politicians. We want physical therapists. We want respiratory therapists. We even want janitor that will sweep the floor and sweep it well.
Psychiatry and psychology.
Exactly. We need psychiatrists. We need pediatricians. We need orthopedics doctors. These are the things that our people need to be looking at. Enough of politicians because we have it all out there.
The thing is, though, Caroline, how do people go in that field and they're going to spend 12, 13 years going to school? I'm not sure about how long it takes the people in Liberia. And somebody's going to pay you $700 and pay Mo Ali $100,000+ a year. Pay $3,000 for his generator. And Patrick Hunter, them who have abused people, little girls, publicly, that we've seen that. How is that going to happen? The people that were yelling, how is that going to happen? People will go in the field when the field is attractive and they can feed the family. So
exactly.
they're not going to be there.
So that's how all of that going to be changed is what we're doing right now. Continue to talk, continue to go into, continue to speak up, continue to even if it's one or two person that will get it. People are getting the Liberians are getting the information. Liberians are listening. Liberians are speaking up. And until the change comes, we shouldn't stop speaking up. Yes, I have my professional job, but when it comes to my people getting the right stuff that they need, the basic things of life, we can't stop speaking. Sometimes I get tired, sometimes I get discouraged, but at the end of the day, you encourage me. You guys are here consistently. And it encourages me to come and add my voice. And we need to add our voices. You posted a quote on your page. You said something keep happening when bad people keep in power, when the wise men keep silent.
Yeah, when the white men keep silent. Yes.
Exactly. We have leaders. I don't even call them leaders. 98% of them that are taking pay don't need to be in that office, first of all. So we got to continue to speak. We need to speak up. We need to call it as it is. It does not matter who it is. If it can be family, it can be friends. If they do wrong, we need to call them out. And trust me, I'm sure my cousin Ty got the message. And I want to just say congratulations, and I want to thank Representative Hassan Berete for what he's doing for our people. You know, again, it might be like the government giving him money to do it, but he's been doing this thing before he even got into the government. He's been using his own personal money.
Yeah, he had the Ability Foundation. He paid people school fees, send people to. And I remember when we met him about 3.5 years ago, almost 4 years ago. Some girls had come over, and he was supporting those girls. And he told us
the nursing students.
I want you to mentor these girls, okay? Yes. And he said, I pay their school fee and tell them to go. I know people take advantage of people, little girls in this country, but that's not what I do. I take care of these girls. If they come to me and they ask me to pay their school fees, I don't know tomorrow what they will do, what they will become. And I help them out. And if you remember, Mike Japate was saying Musa pay his school fee, although he does not like Musa, that his big brother, but he helped him before. And because Musa was on the other side of the politics, so because that he hated him and all of that. But you know, Carolina, people have been asking me if I should be concerned where Musa got his money from. We all should be concerned if the government of Liberia is asking Musa for $4 million. He can afford to put $800,000 or $1 million in a bridge.
But the thing about it, Musa is a businessman. He was among one of the top richest person in Liberia before he got into politics. Do I know him personally? I don't. Am I here campaigning for Musa? I'm not. But I've seen his work before the campaign. I've seen the work after the campaign. He has been consistent. Now he has businesses all over. Musa what? Musa is a businessman. He's a Nibadian.
Let me get you.
He's a Nibadian. Yeah, I don't care what tribe, or you can be better Nibadian, you can be Husam Nibadian. Once you're from Nimba, that thing is just in us. And let me just brag a little bit.
They will put you in jail, you woman. Let me say this to you. Maybe most of you don't know this. Musa used to own a trucking company in the States before he moved to Liberia. In fact, he was one of those people who supported Ellen with money when Ellen was running. Maybe most of you don't know that. Musa has a real estate business here in Georgia. In fact, Musa has a house right here in my subdivision. It got 2 faces right next door. And he has houses. He got real estate development. I think people are asking me. He didn't ask me to say, but I'm telling you what I know. And I know some of his business partners.
Yeah, so in America. Sorry
that I have to tell you, some people asking me where you getting your money from. I know. I'm telling you what I know. Whether you believe or not, that's your problem. Okay. Musa lives here. Musa went to school here. Maybe most of you don't know that. Musa lived here. Musa went to school here. Okay. Some of Musa children were born in this country. Maybe you're just hearing it because Liberian people make a story. Just at one point, somebody was running around. Oh, Interpol coming for Musa. Interpol coming for what do you call it? Interpol. Now they're not changing. Let me come back to you. I hear people talking about you're all over the place with Musa's son. You start arresting your own people first. Ting. I know ting or tong or tong, whatever his name is. Okay, Bwaka's son, who was selling drugs and were on drugs. When he took over, what did he do? He shipped him to Lebanon to get rehabilitated while your children running up the street. Bwaka's son, who have the gym, who have the club, right there where he lived opposite his house, all in front of the place that they can be selling drugs. Yes, we've been there. I the one who talking and not that because me I'm coming there. Okay, that I'm saying it. You all know this is true.
Remember that?
Yes, ma, we know. Okay.
Remember the night we're in that area, we almost died. You remember?
Exactly. We almost, man. We've been face to face with trouble. The last I checked, 100 million drug came to the airport. You're talking and carry it. Your justice minister said there were not enough evidence, although you collected. The American people brought it on. 2 weeks exactly over, another 100 million drug came. All right. Justice cannot be selective.
It can't.
You cannot grab somebody's child and put them in jail for almost 8 months with no due process and just keep them there and anticipate. So Martin Kwali and the group of y'all go suck air, y'all go sit down. Because when I come next, I hear your break, I will call you out. Pazawe, the whole week that you and I for it, I'm coming for you. I gave you 1 year, and you think you will be parading. You say, oh, well, you don't got no integrity. I watch you call me out, and I said nothing to you because of the respect I have for you. Now, we'll put the father and daughter business aside. We'll talk about nation. I'm coming for you all this week. No, integrity means we do the right thing at all times. It does not matter if we benefit or not. Okay? I don't care if you stay down with Bwaka. I start with Bwaka. When he was vice president, I hosted Bwaka. I led him in organization. I hosted him. So I don't care for feel where he is. Me, Cindy Martin, that please, excuse me. Let me break a little. I have refused the president of the United States to meet with him because his ideology did not align with mine. And being a president, I knew that I could not convince him. Okay, I was going to just put myself in a place where I was going to be spotlight and people will have air on me. So I refuse to meet with him. Y'all go find a Call Thomas Asumana on your team, who your chairperson here in America. So I know what I stand for. I know who I am. Papa's that way. I offer you. You sit down, you call people criminal. You are dealing with the criminals. They kill us every day. And you calling people criminal? I'm coming for you. So let me tell you, little boys and girls, yes, Musa live in America. Musa's children, few of his children were born. I'm not going to tell you how many in the United States. Musa, right here in the subdivision I'm in. The other one, because there are 2 faces. The first face on the other side, he got building there. He got partners there. He got real estate businesses here. All right? So you're asking me where you getting your money from. But you're not asking where you want $4 million from him. Where is he getting $4 million from? Do you know how much people they may have to hire? How much gasoline, how much business he have to do? to be able to collect $4 million taxes. You see, in the world over, we give companies incentive so America can keep working. We don't harass them like that. We get them incentives so they can enlarge in their business to keep the people working. So now that's my own truth. I say, you who know the truth besides my truth, please explain your truth. I just told you my truth. That sorry, I have to say this. You know,
No,
we
you are
insisted.
on point. You are on
And then
point.
so that will be my closing statement. I will leave it. You all go ahead and do your own closing statement.
Yeah, it was a wonderful show. I just want to
Yes.
thank everybody who joined us today. I also want to tell you to stay tuned because Justine and I are in the process of putting together a fundraising program.
Yes.
And this program is going to be geared for serving our people in Liberia, especially projects that were initiated by women. Okay. So this is something that's in the works. We'll bring you more information, perhaps starting next week, because I
Yes.
have
Yes.
put her on
Yes.
a appointment basis. We got to meet Monday because I told her more than Michelle Obama. So just thank you for joining us. It was a wonderful conversation. We've been speaking about Ta one way. I met Ta a couple of times, and he's listening to many of you who had, good or bad things to tell you. I actually have not really interacted with him personally in these couple of days. If I do, I will tell him what I have to say, but I'm not the kind of person to come on, public radio and, castigate someone or denigrate someone. I think if I have something to say, I'll tell you it. But I do know publicly, since he's a public official, that we noticed three or four things when you see me. I was in Nima. In fact, like I said before, we're in District 1, and we saw that very same structure was built by another representative.
And we
I
have
think
been there, yes.
aspiring. I don't think he was represented at the time. He was aspiring. Yeah. Yeah, and we had some concerns because actually we sat in the building. That was where the program that
Yeah,
went
we
to
sat
was
there
held.
for hours.
We sat there for hours waiting for the guest speaker and what have you. And we were sitting there thinking about we're having visions about how we could turn that building around to make it more accommodating. And so if he wanted to listen to his constituent and listen to Liberians, he will. I'm sure Todd seems to be, open to ideas, so I'm sure he will listen.
Oh yeah.
To many.
Oh yes.
Yeah, as I said, Musa is a business person. He's very strategic. He thinks ahead. Many of you don't know the workings of Musa ability, but people who are around him, people who know him, people who I'll be open to say that he's very close to my family. So it's someone that I study a lot as a person. I will tell you strategically. One of the things Musa knows that I like to ask him questions. He knows that I like to know, and I think Liberians are right to know, to ask, do you know where his money is coming from? So I think it was on New Year's Day, I was in Liberia in this past month. And Musa came to pick us up, my husband and I thought we were going to he has several homes in Liberia, by the way. Let me just also say. And I thought we were going to one of the homes that across the bridge, which I was familiar with. And so we kept on driving, and I was okay because the direction we're going to was across the bridge. So as we were going, and I'm like looking at Abraham, and Abraham looking at me because, like Monrovia, we're not as savvy in terms of knowing the different parts of Monrovia. And finally, he took us across the bridge, and we didn't go the direction we thought we were going towards, where I assume his other home is, to have New Year's Day dinner. And he took us towards the port. And for the first time, I entered the port of Liberia. And as we were going there, we kept on looking, and he said, "Have you been to the Port Authority before?" I said, "No." He said, "Have you been to the petroleum area?" I said, "No." And so he was giving us different tours. But one of the things I noticed was the people that came out, actually, those guys were so respectful. to you, Musa. Musa was friends. You know, you were giving them gifts for their New Year's and stuff like that. So that was the first thing I noticed. Number two, when we got in there, he said, "Do you notice? Do you see those two storage? I don't see any petroleum." What are you talking about? And then Abraham had to explain to me. He said, "Those are tanks. Those big things that you see in America. Those are tanks for petroleum." And that's where. So you want to know where he how he makes his money? He stores petroleum for. Oops. Oh, you distracted me. Oops.
Like your niece.
Wow, that's already out.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so that's how he makes his money. He stores petroleum. That's one of the way. That's just one of the way. So if you factor in your head how does someone make money from stolen petroleum? Just imagine gallons and gallons and gallons of tanks of petroleum I'm in stores, and he serves the Liberian public. So think about how much money that is. You know, I was just asking my husband. I don't know that much about petroleum and gas and all that stuff. So
They will come on the platform and talk to him. Mr. Richardson will come on the platform and talk to
yeah,
us.
after you get Mr. Richardson to come, but I'll just tell you
You
that
don't
right
have
now.
to put his face. Then we started with say without his face. He will come
So,
without his
so he was like, I asked him, he said, "Oh, you don't," because of course, he said, "You just don't know." And so imagine for those of you who are asking where he's getting his money from, he's a businessman. He stores petroleum for the country. I remember even a story at one point, Liberia was going broke and didn't even have petroleum in the country. And guess
Yep.
who supplied petroleum to our country? It was
Country. Yeah. He loaned our country. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Mhm.
Yes, that's you remember that story too. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. I want to just say it was a great show. Thank you so much. Somebody said from 7% to 1%. Okay, be worried about 7% to 1%. I like when they say that. We said that I ain't electricity, you ain't got electricity. We talk about petrol, and he talk about for 7 to 7.
That's man. Go ahead. That's a distraction. He
Yeah,
started
no,
somewhere.
I just like
Nobody
I mean
pay.
I can tell you
Yeah.
like
Nobody pay attention to you, so you're looking for somewhere else to
yeah.
pay attention
Anyway, it
to.
was
You will
great show
not get
and
paid today.
congratulations. I want to see my baby's picture next week. Please load it up so we can say it, okay?
Oh
We can look
yes, I
proud and
will.
load up
I
that picture.
will. I will.
Yes,
I will. Yes,
yes.
I
So
will.
it was great joining both you and Carolyn. Carolyn, it was good joining you as always.
Thank
It
you.
was good being here again today. And
Yes.
the fights continue for Liberia.
Yeah.
Amen. Madam
Amen.
Vice, anything to say? The first woman.
I- oh well, it was a great show. Again, we're gonna continue to speak up. Thank you too for always coming on here, even though you have other things that you could have been doing at this time, but because of the love for country, love for people, that's why you do what you do, and you've been doing it consistently, and you've brought some of us along the way. You still bringing some of us along the way. And sometimes some people say that small Yasini Carolyn turned into small Yasini. I'm like, I don't know about that, but 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 no, it's just because when you know better, you expect better and you do better. And so to my brother, I don't know the family relationship. We from Nima, everybody is family to us. I don't know the family relationship, but to Ty, Representative Ty, I say thank you for the vision. We need leaders that have vision, but the vision need to be, work on a little bit. I think you threw some of us off that, learning the English word. So you threw us off when you talk about transformational impact, rest area and this and marketplace and stuff. You kind of threw us off when we saw that particular building, okay, per se. So I know you have a great vision for Nima. You are from Nima. You are a Nibadian blood. We expect better. To our brother Musa, thank you for what you're doing. Please bring your junior brother along and show him the ropes. To our finance minister, reduce the salary of your people if you can. To the senators and the representatives, reduce your salaries. And trust me, if you do, there will be medications in the hospital.
Caroline, let me
Mhm.
tell you, ma, it's not the finance minister, it's the president. He's the chief executive. He had
Oh,
to let the country know that the country cannot carry this burden, that there need to be a shift. The people he hired, they either can take the salary cut or they can. Number one, nobody in that country need to be making the most should be $5,000. That including the senators and the representatives.
mhm.
Okay, and the what do you call it, the ministers. Ain't nobody need to be getting gas slip. Ain't nobody
Mm.
need to be getting phone call. Ain't nobody need to be driving on the. I heard the other one say the other day when we're going to work. You need going to work. There won't lean in Monrovia. You need to get her in time to be to work on time like everybody else. You
But
need to lead the charge. We cannot cut them a slack to
mm,
get her at 8 o'clock and put everybody over to run a siren on the street. That's illegal. That's breaking the law. They don't need to do third lien and fourth lien and fifth lien and murder people, and they say they're on their way to work. They need to get to work on time. Nobody in that place needs to be paying anybody. I'm sorry, Caroline. Paying people to work in their houses. They don't need to have hot gear. They don't need to have hot ball. They went to serve the people. I stop. Sorry, ma. You know me.
but, they can have that person, they can hire their personal attendant in their home, but they need to use the salary that they are being paid. Like you said, everyone is against executive order. The last time I asked you, when was since the Pape got in power, or has any Liberian president ever executed any executive order to say this is what is going to be for in the best interest of our citizens? So you cannot be upset with another country president that is trying to do his work, and now you're trying to blame him or whatever. You put the
Caroline,
executive.
Caroline, let's have a side conversation
So,
tomorrow.
so no, no.
Yes, yes,
So let me let
please.
me let me end.
Mhm.
So again, yes, you are right. The president needs to put his foot down. He needs to cut some snacks. You can. When I read that people were getting 800 gallons of gas, I'm like, for what? Where are they driving? So all of that needs to be cut down. If you want medications in your hospital, if you want good, competent healthcare workers, practitioners in the place, invest in the educational system, invest in your healthcare system. That's all I have to say tonight. Thank you so much for listening. Who all listening? Thank you, sis. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Francine. It's always good to be on here with you guys, but we still got work to do. Thank you.
Thank you. I have to go upload work. So, and
All
that's it.
right.
I have to call Ray
Yeah.
after. Okay, I'm calling you Ray after. Caroline, good night. Thank you, ladies. Steve Brown, we'll talk about that conversation. We have that conversation later about Liberian political politicians and female politicians and advocates are selective in their advocacy. People speak to knowledge. Some of us speak to where we know, where we are, our own experiences. That way we speak to. We just don't talk because you're pulling water out of the bottle without being in touch with that. We have to be in touch with the things that we speak about. So since you are not selective, by all me, if you can speak to all the issues in Liberia, please do. Just write down here what bothers you, and then you can come on the platform and talk about it. It can be your voice. Good night to all of you. This has been another Sunday episode of Second Thought Africa. Good night, everyone.